so much.
Okay, so we're going to talk today about Naked Gun, which I hope you enjoyed. I got some input from some people that said spoofs may not be for them. That's okay. I'm proud of you for trying something new. And maybe spoofs aren't my favorite genre of comedy either, but I do really like Naked Gun. Oh yeah, you can go to Great Raft. Has a strawberry 318. You can't go to Great Raft right now. I take that back, but you can get them at your local store when you are going out and social distancing at the grocery store.
Why wouldn't you be able to go get it? Is there something happening?
Yeah. You gotta stay home.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Angie says spoofs are not her jam. It's okay. Michael is thinking of Airplane, which we're going to get to Airplane as well. Hey, Garrett, we just gave Great Raft a shout out. You missed it, but trust me, we did. Even though I'm wearing Abita earrings, I do love Great Raft. So make me some Great Raft earrings and I will wear them next time. They have curbside. Gosh, y'all are teaching me so many things that I don't know. But Garrett Johnson's here. He can answer all of your Great Raft questions. So just throw them at him, and we can even make it into a Great Raft live if we need to, if no one likes Naked Gun. But Naked Gun is directed by this guy right here. His name is David Zucker. This is his brother, this goofy fella right here. His name is Jerry Zucker. And this guy is Jim Abrams. And they are a team. They make lots of funny movies together. They met at the University of Wisconsin, which is known as a really party school, fun school, funny school. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about the University of Wisconsin, but that's where they went. They made their first movie called... Oh, Karen, I'm going to tell you what a spoof is, and then we'll know more about it. Their first movie was called The Kentucky Fried Movie. Now, I remember this movie not because I saw it, because I still have not ever seen it. It's not Nicolas Cage, Jerry Zucker, but he looks like him. I remember going to Blockbuster Video or Video One, and I saw this movie, and it looked really fun, because doesn't that look fun? I mean, I like Kentucky Fried Chicken. This whole illustration looks fun to me, so I really wanted to see it. However, it was rated R, and my parents never let me rent it. When I became old enough to rent R-rated movies on my own, I had lost interest. So I have not seen it. Ken has. He loves it. So that was their first movie, and it's kind of a sketch comedy, like along the lines of Saturday Night Live. Then they really hit the big time with the movie Airplane, directed by David Zucker, written and produced by those other crazy guys I showed you. I thought about showing Airplane, but it has to do with a lot of people falling ill on an airplane and everyone panics. And I thought maybe that's not the right kind of movie to watch right now in today's climate. So I thought next best thing would be Naked Gun. So Airplane is where we'll talk a little bit more about Leslie Nielsen in a minute. But this was kind of where they made it big. Then came... Oh, not ready for that yet. Oh. But thank you. You're still on the ball.
Yeah, I'm eager.
Airplane kind of sealed the deal and made them kind of the masters of the spoof, but they were not the first to make a spoof. Someone who knows, if you want to get really nerdy and technical, what is the difference between a parody and a spoof? I'll wait for your answers. Let's see what you got. You got any ideas?
I think a spoof is when it's being played straight.
That's a good guess.
There are silly things happening, but they're playing
like Leslie Nielsen plays it straight. Okay,
right. Whereas a parody is less that.
Okay, that's a good guess.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that that's wrong.
That's fine.
But I'm going to see if there's any other answers. The spelling is different. Yes, can you spell them different?
They're different words.
Yeah, Michael might know. Nope. No one else knows. Okay, I'm going to wait just one more second.
You know those two old Muppets?
Spoof is a parody.
That...
Yes, Michael is right. Michael, did you Google that? Spoof is just silly. Okay, Michael is right. So, yes, y'all are giving me all the right answers. A parody is like making fun of a specific work of literature or film. So, like for instance, Spaceballs, that is a parody of what film, Thomas?
I have no idea. Wait, it's Spaceballs is a parody?
Yeah.
Of Star Wars,
Yeah.
of course.
So Spaceballs is a parody of Star Wars, a specific work. Now, Naked Gun is not a parody of any specific work, but it is making fun of a genre of films, like the detective film, the police film. So spoof is broad, like a genre, and parody is narrow, like one work of fiction.
There are moments of parody.
There are. There are.
Well, that wasn't from Naked Gun 1, but the ghost scene from Naked Gun 2
Yeah.
specifically.
And a lot of people, it's okay to use the terms interchangeably. No one's going to care. So the very first film spoof that I know of is this little gem from 1905 called The Little Train Robbery. So there is this movie called The Great Train Robbery, which is a famous early film. And The Little Train Robbery is a remake, but it's got all kids instead of grown-ups. So there's your first parody / spoof ever made.
What?
Yeah. Michael, hold your ideas because I'm going to ask you what your favorite spoof is later. So everyone just think of that now. You don't have to type it now, but there will be a time for that. Before the Zucker team, there was another guy who made a lot of fun spoofs and parodies, and his name is, do you know who I'm referring to?
Melbourne Brooks.
Mel Brooks, yes. Correct. I'm going to show you some of Mel Brooks's most famous parodies and spoofs. So if you do like a spoof, not Adam, not Angie, I know they're not for you, but other people, if you do like a spoof, here are some from Mel Brooks. We have Blazing Saddles. I know for a fact that this is my friend Bobby Hicks's favorite movie. In case any Bobby Hicks friends out there, you can surprise her with a DVD of Blazing Saddles. She will love it. He's also known for Young Frankenstein, which we've showed at the Robinson to a sold-out crowd. What I mentioned before, Spaceballs. I do realize this is an international poster, but I really liked the art, so I chose it. And then Michael, I think, mentioned this. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yes, good. Y'all are all Brant, Young Frankenstein. Love it. And let's see. Yeah, this is the last one. You might recognize this guy, Leslie Nielsen, in Dracula, Dead and Loving It. He teamed up with Mel Brooks to make this movie in the 90s. Okay, so Airplane broke conventions. Like Thomas said, he talked about playing it straight. That's what Leslie Nielsen's kind of known for. And so that's what Airplane made really popular, is dramatic actors playing it straight. They're oblivious to the fact that they're in a comedy, and kind of David Zucker went on to make a career out of those types of movies. Yes, Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor. I will get to that in a moment. Very good point. Thank you. So here are some of other David Zucker films in case you really like him and want to watch more. Top Secret. Guys, this is a spoof of spy movies and Elvis movies in one movie. I can get better than that.
Starring Val Kilmer.
Starring Val Kilmer in one of his first roles. Who can forget Basketball with the creators of South Park in the starring roles? I haven't seen it. And then, guys, David Zucker made Scary Movie 3.
Yep.
Scary Movie 4. Scary Movie 5. So he really got into the Scary Movie franchise after a while. Let's see. Basketball is great, Brian. I will have to go back and watch it. Is that what you were saying was great? I'm sorry if I missed it. So he on his IMDb, David Zucker has an upcoming project. Now, it was not updated since 2015, so who knows if it's still happening, but I'm really interested in seeing it. It's called Spaghetti versus Noodle, and it is a comedy about Italians fighting with Chinese over who invented spaghetti. So, and it is also listed as a comedy romance. I cannot wait to see it. Okay, we'll move on. I have a few more things to say about David Zucker, but we're done. Top Secret. Thanks, Brian. I will check it out. Top Secret. All right. You know this guy? This is our man of the hour, Leslie Nielsen. But guess what? This is also Leslie Nielsen. Isn't he a looker? Still is here. He's still a nice looking older man, but man, he was really a heartthrob in his day. I found this may turn into a live of just photos of Leslie Nielsen because I found so many that I like. There's this one. Hey, cowboy.
Oh, look at
And
this
then
one.
this one is Leslie Nielsen as Joe Exotic in Tiger King. You didn't know he starred in Tiger King back in the day. It was the first version, and the one out now is a remake. Witchcraft, I know. Okay, so like someone said, I think it might have been Michael earlier, that Leslie Nielsen originally he had a whole career's worth of work as a dramatic actor. He was a very serious actor, which is kind of what made him perfect for the roles that he ended up getting in the 80s and 90s. So Brian knows it. He knows his most famous work, Forbidden Planet. I recommend this, highly recommend it to everyone. I know there are some Shakespeare fans out there. This is a modern retelling of The Tempest, featuring a fantastic robot pictured there named Robbie. Here is Leslie Nielsen in Forbidden Planet with a delightful little ray gun. Good film. I recommend it. Go see it. Rent it. Maybe tonight even. So here's some, let's see. He got his very first start in his TV show called Studio One, which is an anthology. Then he was on this TV show for several years called The New Breed. And he plays a police lieutenant. So this role is very, very much like what he ended up playing in the Naked Gun franchise. And let's see, he was in the soap Peyton Place. And he starred in the Poseidon Adventure. Maybe not starred, but is featured in. He's the captain of the ship.
Oh.
And here he is as the captain of the ship, looking very Leslie Nielsen-esque. Okay, pause. So, and then he guest starred in many, many, many shows in the 60s and 70s. If you can think of a TV show from the 60s and 70s, he probably was in at least one episode of that. And then his career just kind of was petered out a little bit. And do you remember?
Yes.
You do?
Uh-huh. Probably.
Do you remember
when
Quentin Tarantino made Pulp Fiction?
I do.
He brought back a star whose career was on the decline. Who do you think I'm referring to?
That was one John Travolta.
Yeah. So after John Travolta appeared in Pulp Fiction, he had kind of a pretty major career resurgence. So that is what David Zucker did for Leslie Nielsen in Airplane, when he first started in Airplane in 1980.
He also made guest appearances on The Golden Girls.
Yeah,
in the 80s.
on The Golden Girls. Many, many shows. I'm telling you. Lots and lots of TV shows. So here he is in Airplane. Don't Call Me Shirley. And that's what really kickstarted his career back. And from then on, from Airplane to the end of his career, which he worked all the way up until really close to when he passed away, he was in these comedies, these spoofs, where he was playing it straight for laughs. So there was a TV show called Police Squad, which did not last too long, but that's what Naked Gun is based on. So then he was in Naked Gun, that we all know him from. Then he was in Naked Gun 2.5. And then he was in, this is the best movie poster ever, Naked Gun 33 1/3. He was in a film called Spy Hard. You can tell what it's spoofing.
I've seen these.
Yes, Ken. Sorry, I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute.
What, did Ken not know Leslie Nielsen had passed?
I just broke that news to him, unfortunately.
I feel like we just
guys,
told him his goldfish guy.
My brother just opened the door.
It's a studio. We're shooting here.
Oh my goodness, everything's crazy.
It's an open set.
Mr. Magoo. Remember Mr. Magoo? If you don't remember him, that's what he looks like in cartoon form. And this is what he looks like in Leslie Nielsen form. Yeah, Carrie, we'll get to O.J. Simpson. I know. I almost didn't recommend this film because of O.J. Simpson, but Okay, let's see. Then he was in this movie called Wrongfully Accused, which is a parody of The Fugitive. So that he was in movies all the way up to 2008. He died in 2010 of pneumonia, and his gravestone reads, "It's my family, Mom." And she might be
live TV
talking
everybody.
to my brother. Now they're gonna
know.
just talk on the front porch.
It's
okay.
fine.
But anyway, y'all, this is his gravestone. It says, "Let her rip." You know why? Do you know why? What is it? What do you think of when you hear "Let her rip"?
I don't know exactly.
He loved a whoopee cushion prank.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
That's kind of what he was known for on the set, so much so that he chose "Let Her Rip" to be written for all eternity on his gravestone.
Many of those films that he did later were not great films. They had some funny moments, but things like Spy Hard and Wrongfully Accused, not so good. Great.
So I'm going to direct you to. Robert says hi to Betty. She left. I don't know where she went. She's in the front yard. Here she comes back. There she is.
She should wave. Hey, Betty. No, don't come this way.
He always had a whoopee cushion.
Social distancing.
Okay, I'm not going to read this to you because we don't have time, but I would direct you to look up David Zucker's open letter to Hollywood Reporter about Leslie Nielsen when he died. It's really great. It's got some great info in it. It's very sweet. Let's talk about a few other people. Carrie wants to talk about O.J. Simpson. Hang on, what did you say? Did anyone realize he was an actor? So Carrie's young. She's a youngin'. She missed Naked Gun first go round. But yeah, O.J. Simpson was an actor after his football career was over. He actually was in films up until the infamous Bronco chase and all that was involved with that.
Did something happen with O.J. Simpson? What? We're learning so much today. I had no idea.
He's not featured very much in this first movie, which is a good thing, but he is featured a lot more heavily in the sequels. Vicky says he was not much of an actor. Yeah, he was in Towering Inferno. He was very popular. He was a very popular
all those
guy.
Hertz commercials. He was running through the airport and he was leaping luggage and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
That's what his best known for is those commercials.
But there are some other actors that I like better, like Priscilla Presley. Hey, Priscilla. Any Elvis fans, any Graceland fans? I happen to love going to Graceland in Memphis. Not right now because we're not really supposed to travel or go places or gather. So we're not doing any of that. But if you go to Graceland, by the way, if you don't know, Priscilla Presley, she used to be married to Elvis.
That's what I was going to say. You should probably qualify that for some of the
people like Carrie, who's a youngin'. Anyway, if you get the audio tour, Priscilla is the one talking to you. So you can tour Graceland while Priscilla's talking to you about their lives together at Graceland. Highly recommend. Brian was wondering how much of the references from the 80s went over the young people's heads. Probably some, yes. Some of the jokes hold up and some of them are very time specific. She is super gorgeous. Jessica loves to go to Graceland. In fact, we've been to Graceland together. Hey, Jess. Yeah, I think Priscilla had lots of hair colors, which is fine. That's her prerogative. She can be whatever hair color she wants to be. And then we have George Kennedy. He played Ed Hawken. And guys, this guy is an Oscar winner. He won Best Supporting Actor for Cool Hand Luke. There you go. And then Ricardo Montalban. I always have a hard time saying his name. Anyone know what he is famous for other than starring in The Naked Gun? Let's hear it. Do. He will just dance for you until
I know so many things.
I know.
The Island Show.
Oh
the Island Show.
Oh my gosh.
The show with the island.
My mom's now yelling at us from the other room.
Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island, but I was going to let them guess.
I know. That's how it should work. But I went a different
Thank you,
way.
Vicky. She knew, and Ken knew. The plane. Yes. So he had he started in Fantasy Island for many, many years.
Also, Khan in Star Trek: Wrath of Khan.
Right. You know I don't like Star Trek.
I do.
It's fine. Okay, this is the mayor. Remember her? Her name's Nancy Marchand. Now, you probably recognize her from Naked Gun that you just saw. Now, do you recognize her from this picture?
That makes so much sense. I knew
Who knows her from this picture? I will wait. Because I will not let Thomas spoil this one.
It's one of those times I shouldn't answer.
Yeah, it's one of those times you shouldn't answer. I'll just show you back and forth. This is her Naked Gun. This is her. Yes, she is Mrs. Soprano from The Sopranos. And before Naked Gun, she was Lou Grant's secretary on Lou Grant. And then this is the Queen of England. Her name's Jeanette Charles, and she starred in 33 films, all as the Queen of England. She's made a career out of impersonating the Queen. Cool, huh? Okay, now, hey, Clay and maybe Meredith. What scenes were your favorite? Which did you think were the funniest? What were some of your funniest lines, your favorite lines? Some of you shared it in our event, but I want to hear what you loved, what you thought was funny, what had you LOLing, if you will. What about you?
I like the line about the Drano. It's like drinking Drano. Sure, it'll clean you out, but it'll leave you hollow inside. Yeah. Love it.
Vicky, I'm not going to repeat that. You can read Vicky's comment.
What?
It's fine. It's fine. We're all adults here. I just will blush if I say it out loud. I liked this opening scene. Someone also said the opening scene. It might have been Brant. But here's a picture of Jerry, David, and Jim with all the actors from this world leader terrorism opening scene. I love it when he wipes off Gorbachev's birthmark just like that.
Oh, so I understand why I'm here now. I'm a prop.
Yeah. Okay, keep them coming. Keep telling me what else you loved. I know Ken had a favorite. This is Ken's favorite. When she's the student driver and the driving instructor says, "Stephanie, extend your left arm. Now extend your middle finger." And he says that's a favorite quote in his family, that they'll just quote that to each other when someone's being rude.
This is from Sandy. Corrected.
I don't know why my family keeps coming in here, but they do.
Because she wants us to know that Nancy Marchand was the publisher.
Sorry, the publisher. I'm so sorry, Sandy.
She's not the secretary.
From my Aunt Sandy in Houston, all of my family members are very involved.
Come on, Meghan.
In this
secretary.
life. I'm so sorry. The publisher. I'm so sorry. Brant loved all the explosions. There were multiple explosions. And maybe my favorite is like when the fireworks factory is exploding and all the people are gathering and he's saying, "Please disperse. There's nothing to see here," as literally things are just blowing up behind him. Okay, Karen says, "It's a topsy-turvy world and maybe the problems of two people don't amount to a hill of beans, but this is our hill and these are our beans." My mom wants her phone back.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Bye, Betty.
This is so much fun.
Oh my gosh, isn't it? Yes, thank you, Karen. Thank you for your contribution. This is our hill and these are our beans. I like that the hospital is called the hospital. And that joke continues in the sequels with the police station.
Can I hold one up?
Oh, sure. I'd love for you to. But see, you gotta hold it up. There.
Like this?
Yeah, like that. I think my favorite joke from the whole movie is when, are you done? Or you want to?
I was done. My arm had gotten tired.
Is when the Queen's reception is in a hotel ballroom down the hall from some kid's bar mitzvah. So it's like the Queen's reception this way and the bar mitzvah this way. Because that's what would happen if the Queen came to LA. Okay, now, what are your favorite spoofs? Who loves a spoof?
I love a spoof.
What are some of your favorite spoofs?
I love so many spoofs.
Do you love Spaceballs?
I love Spaceballs. Yeah. I love all the Naked Gun films.
All the Naked Gun films?
Yeah.
Here are some others. Let's see. Shout them out if you have a favorite spoof. We have This is Spinal Tap. Hi, Andrea.
This is a very underrated film right here. Walk Hard.
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. It looks very much like the Doors poster.
Yep.
Vicky loves Airplane. Airplane's a classic. It's probably my favorite. High Anxiety, good choice. Blazing Saddles, another good one. Angie does like Spaceballs. See, you do like some, Angie. Walk Hard, got it, Brant. So this is I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, which is directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. You probably have heard of him. This is one of his first movies. The Groove Tube. I don't know that
Hot Shots.
Oh, look, Ken. Dead Men Don't Wear Blood. I got it. I don't know The Groove Tube, Brian. You're going to have to tell me more about it. I know Karen loves her some Monty Python. So here we have Life of Brian. Here we have Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Did anyone see Not Another Teen Movie? Did you see that? Chris Evans?
No,
I think Tiana likes Chris Evans. She mentioned that last time we met.
You remember that time you met Chris Evans?
You want me to tell you about the time I met Chris Evans?
I think that would be a funny story.
I will tell you. So, I was at a local establishment called Stray Cat.
What?
I bet some of you have been there. So I was at Stray Cat and I was having a lovely time, as you often do at Stray Cat. I did happen to realize that Michael Shannon was behind me. And I love Michael Shannon. So I was like just obsessed with the fact that Michael Shannon was standing behind me. Little did I know that he was also talking to a young man named Chris Evans. I didn't know who Chris Evans was at the time. I did not become a Marvel fan until I met this gentleman right here. And then I watched all the Marvel movies, and now I'm caught up. But at the time, I didn't know.
But this was post-Captain America.
Yeah. They were filming Iceman in Shreveport. So, my friend and I had just ordered a pizza. And, because, Stray Cat's got good pizza. So, the pizza comes, and I'm excited, and I'm going to eat the pizza. Meanwhile, Chris Evans comes and stands right next to me. He is paying his tab, and he's talking about inviting everyone to go back to his room at the Remington. All of his friends he was with, he's like, yeah, y'all come back and we'll hang out in my room for a while. And so I am thinking, gosh, is Michael Shannon gonna... I am just totally zoned in on Michael Shannon. And so Chris Evans looks over at me and smiles, and he says, that looks like some good pizza. I'd love a piece of that pizza. And I just looked at him. I just gave him a look and went back to eating my pizza. I just thought that's rude to just a stranger to come up to you and ask for a piece of your pizza. He was also wearing a trucker hat, which I found mildly offensive, fashion-wise. And so I just ignored him. I just thought he was some guy at the bar that wanted a piece of my pizza.
That was Captain America that wanted a piece of your
pizza. So then anyway, I wasn't rude to him. I just didn't respond to him. No. So anyway, he paid his tab and left. And the bartender, the friendly bartender at Stray Cat, he said, do you know who that was? And I said, Michael Shannon's friend? I don't know. And he said, that's Captain America. And I said, I don't watch those movies. I don't know Captain America. And then when I met Thomas and I told him that story, he was so upset. He said, you could have married
Chris... that man that slice of pizza.
He said, you could have married Chris Evans. I don't think that's where the conversation was going. I think he just wanted a piece of pizza. And I think he's a friendly guy. It was just making bar conversation. But anyway, I didn't talk to him. And that's a shame. I wish that I had. Captain America wanted my pizza and I denied him DiGiorno. I did. Anyway, back to spoofs. Let me give you a trivia question without a prize, just for fun. Can you guess the highest grossing spoof of all time?
I feel like that's knowledge I had at one point, but have since forgotten.
No one's mentioned it so far, so it may not. What if I told you it was maybe... I was nice to his brother Scott. I know Scott Evans. When I say no, I mean I met him and hung out with him at the Gay and Lesbian Film Festival this past year because he was showing a film. But when I hung out with him, I didn't know he was Chris Evans' brother. Now I do. I'm so connected to Chris Evans.
If you had known, would you have told him the Chris
Probably.
Evans
I probably
story?
would have told him the story. But
hilarious.
I now follow Scott Evans on Instagram. He's got great content. If you're looking for someone good to follow, Scott Evans is a good one. Okay, we got some guesses. Gone with the Wind.
Is it Hot Shots?
Not a spoof. It's not.
Is it Hot Shots
None of you have got... Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. It is a spoof of James Bond.
Oh, it's Austin Powers. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That was for them. And I answered it.
It is.
It's Austin Powers.
It is. It is Austin Powers in Goldmember. Starring, you know who that little lady is at the front of the poster?
Her.
It's Beyonce. She's back again this week. Love me some Beyonce. But yeah, it made, let me tell you what it made. I think I know. Nope. Oh, there it is. $213 million. It
was a very powerful franchise by that.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
everyone's mad at you for ruining the fun. Okay, I watched the sequels. I watched Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, and I watched Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. I watched them in the past 24 hours. It's a lot of Naked Gun running through my head right now. They're okay. Here's some highlights in case you'd want to skip them. You can. Naked Gun 2.5 features a George H.W. Bush lookalike. That's probably the most interesting thing about that one. It made more money than the first film. And then Naked Gun 33 1/3 stars Anna Nicole Smith.
That's right.
It's worth checking out for her. Involves a plot to blow up the Oscars. It spoofs some specific movies. It parodies some specific movies. The famous staircase scene from the Battleship Potemkin. Shawshank Redemption, The Bodyguard. It parodies all of those movies. Oh, and like Thomas said in the second one, it parodied Ghost, which Jerry Zucker, David Zucker's brother, directed. Little trivia for you. Frank gets mistaken in the third one for Phil Donahue. That's a running joke. And Weird Al is in all 3 films. There you go. I'm going to look up the Groove Tube, Brian. I'm going to look it up tonight. I promise you. I'll report back. Hi, Judy. Hope you're staying safe. Now, let me ask you this last thing before we go. Ed Helms was at one point in talks to reboot the Naked Gun franchise, and he was going to be Frank Drebin. What do we think of Ed Helms as Frank Drebin? Should we reboot Naked Gun? Does it need a reboot?
I don't care for it.
Is it one of those properties you should leave alone because it was perfect as it was?
I would agree.
If we're going to reboot it, is Ed Helms the right choice? Discuss.
Well, he already tried to reboot a beloved comedy franchise and it didn't
go
so well. Vacation.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's no Chevy Chase.
Nah.
That's for sure. No, do not reboot it, says Tiana. Hello, Jennifer.
That was Loaded Weapon 1.
Yes,
Michael.
someone else already recommended Loaded Weapon, so that's good. Don't mess with the classic. Let's not reboot it. All right, I'm going to let Ed know that we decided it does not need a reboot. He can make Hangover Part 4 instead.
I hope he doesn't.
Okay. All right. We watched it together. My brother says we've seen Groove Tube. My brother who was just here in that door and now he's gone. Steve Carell would be good. That's a good pick. That is a good pick. He would be good at it. I think Steve Carell is good. I mean, I think he could do a lot of things. I think he would be really good at this. Michael says we've watched the Groove Tube together. However, I am senile and I remember very little in life, so I don't remember watching the Groove Tube. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it, and it'll be like it's new. Okay, now Ed Helms is hilarious in The Office. You're right about that. Okay, so the title for next week's Meghan's Movie Club, featuring my sidekicks, Thomas.
Just the one sidekick. You said sidekicks.
I just have one. Although, guys, I have a lot of sidekicks. All of the Hostettlers like to pop in and make an appearance for some strange reason.
Been our most polished.
No. It's the least polished.
Oh, I got that wrong.
My Abita strawberry earrings made everything okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wear them. Maybe they'll make an appearance again.
Salve.
But I will take Great Raft earrings if someone wants to make them for me, or a Flying Heart, or Red River. I'll take all brewery earrings. Okay, so next week together we're going to watch and discuss Beverly Hills Cop. It's one of my favorites. We've shown it at the Robinson at least twice since I've been there, which is probably more than we should, but I love it so much, so we keep bringing it back.
I think we might have even done it as a Rewind film just this last year. The Rewind brought to you by Magcentric at the Robinson Film Center.
So please watch Beverly Hills Cop this week. It's a lot of fun. You're gonna love it.